Football fans around the world are asking the same question after every single Argentina match at this World Cup. Why does the whistle always seem to follow this team? From a stunning round of 16 comeback that left Egypt accusing officials of bias, to a quarterfinal referee appointment that had pundits raising eyebrows before a ball was even kicked, Argentina's road through the 2026 World Cup has been shadowed by controversy at every turn. And now, with a red card that shifted momentum in their favor once again in the quarterfinals, the questions are only getting louder. Is this simply the price of being the defending champions under the microscope, or is something else going on? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why Argentina's matches keep becoming lightning rods for officiating debates, and what it could mean heading into their semi-final date with England. If you're just catching up on the tournament, here's why this story matters. Argentina came into this World Cup as the defending champions, chasing a chance to become the first team since Brazil in 1958 and 1962 to win back-to-back titles. Every match they play is under a spotlight most other teams simply don't experience. But over the past week, that spotlight has increasingly landed on the officials rather than the football itself. Fans, pundits, and even National Federation have openly questioned whether Argentina is getting favorable treatment from referees and VAR, claims FIFA's own refereeing chief has had to publicly deny. Whether you're an Argentina supporter, a neutral, or a fan of the teams they've faced, this is a story that touches the credibility of the entire tournament. Stay with us, because we're breaking down every controversial moment, what the rules actually say, and where this leaves Argentina as they push toward the final. Let's set the stage. Argentina arrived at the knockout rounds as one of the favorites to lift the trophy, with Lionel Messi turning in a historic farewell run, scoring in match after match to keep his country's title defense alive. Head coach Lionel Scaloni's side has leaned heavily on late-game resilience this tournament, a trait that has now become their calling card. And according to critics, suspiciously convenient timing when the officiating gets involved. Argentina's path to the quarterfinals ran through Egypt, a side inspired by Mohamed Salah that had never advanced this far at a World Cup and was determined to make history. That round of 16 tie in Atlanta is where this entire controversy began. Now let's walk through exactly what happened in order. Argentina and Egypt met in the round of 16, and for most of the match, Egypt looked like the team writing the headlines. The Pharaohs took a 2-0 lead with just over 11 minutes remaining in regulation. Egypt actually looked to have scored a third goal in the 62nd minute when Mostafa Zico slotted home what would have been a decisive strike. But after a lengthy VAR review, French referee François Letexier disallowed the goal, ruling that Egyptian defender Marwan Attia had committed a foul on Argentina's Lisandro Martinez during the build-up. Television pundits watching live, including former England goalkeeper Rob Green, immediately questioned whether that decision was even within VAR scope to review. From there, Argentina mounted one of the great comebacks in World Cup history. Christian Romero headed home in the 79th minute to cut the deficit to 2-1. 4 minutes later, Messi leveled things at 2-2, sending the broadcast into a frenzy and keeping Argentina's title hopes alive. Then, deep into stoppage time, with Egypt appealing for a penalty after Hamdi Fathi went down under a challenge from Alexis Mac Allister inside the box, an appeal that was waved away without a pitch-side review. Argentina broke forward and Enzo Fernandez slammed home the winner in the 92nd minute. Final score, Argentina 3, Egypt 2. Messi was in tears. Salah, playing what was likely his final World Cup match, walked off in shock. The fallout was immediate. Egypt's head coach, Hossam Hassan, alleged there may have been pressure on the referee to keep Argentina in the tournament, saying his team had been cheated out of a place in the quarterfinals. The Egyptian Football Association didn't stop there. It filed an official complaint with FIFA, demanding an investigation into Letexier and the entire officiating crew, including the VAR team, and asked that the same referees be removed from the rest of the tournament. Former Premier League stars weighed in too. Alan Shearer wrote on social media that either both incidents should have been fouls or neither should have, criticizing the inconsistency. Ian Wright pointed to a separate moment involving Salah that he felt should have drawn the same scrutiny as the Zico disallowal. Jamie Carragher also questioned how consistently VAR was being applied throughout the match. FIFA didn't stay silent either. Refereeing chief Pierluigi Collina addressed the controversy directly, defending both contested decisions. He confirmed that VAR correctly recommended overturning Zico's goal after identifying the foul by Atia, stating plainly that a foul is a foul, regardless of whether it looks obvious in real time. On the non-award of the late penalty, Collina explained that officials judged the contact between Salah and Julian Alvarez to be normal football contact rather than a foul, distinguishing it from stepping on an opponent's foot. Collina also pushed back hard on the idea of bias, warning that unfounded allegations against officials could provoke threats against referees and their families, and reminded critics that with so many matches compressed into a short tournament window, imperfect decisions are, in his words, normal. That might have been the end of it if Argentina's next match hadn't reignited the exact same conversation. For the quarterfinal against Switzerland in Kansas City, FIFA appointed Portuguese referee João Pinheiro, and the appointment itself became a story before kickoff. Pinheiro had been the center of controversy just weeks earlier in the Champions League semi-final between Bayern Munich and Paris Saint-Germain, where a handball decision against PSG's Nuno Mendes was overturned in bizarre fashion, with Bayern's Konrad Laimer instead penalized for handball on the advice of the fourth official, a call Laimer himself described as really strange. That history, combined with Pinheiro's inconsistent card counts across his two previous matches at this World Cup, had Argentine media and fans uneasy well before the Switzerland match even began. And then, midway through the second half, the officiating storyline struck again. With the score tied at 1-1, Switzerland's Briel Embolo was shown a second yellow card and sent off following a video review, with officials ruling he had dived under a challenge from Argentina's defenders. Down to 10 men, Switzerland somehow held firm through the rest of regulation and deep into extra time, before Julian Alvarez finally broke the deadlock with a stunning strike from outside the box in the 112th minute. Lautaro Martinez added a third in stoppage time to seal a 3-1 win and send Argentina through to the semi-finals, where they'll now face England. So why does this keep happening around Argentina specifically? Football analysts point to a mix of factors rather than any single explanation. First, Argentina's matches keep going to the wire. 2 of their last 3 knockout games required either a stoppage time winner or extra time, and tight, high-stakes moments are exactly when officiating decisions carry the most weight and draw the most scrutiny. Second, VAR itself remains most contested on subjective calls like fouls, as opposed to more black-and-white situations like offside. As one analysis from Outlook India put it, offside decisions are largely factual and straightforward for technology to adjudicate, but fouls remain matters of interpretation. One referee might see a decisive infringement where another sees routine contact, and slow-motion replay can make challenges look more deliberate than they were in real time. Third, Argentina's stature as defending champions and a team built around a global icon in his final tournament means every decision involving them is amplified across broadcasts and social media in a way that wouldn't happen to a lower profile side. It's worth being clear about something here. No evidence has emerged that FIFA manipulated any match or instructed officials to favor Argentina. Collina has flatly denied any bias, and FIFA has defended its officials' judgment in both the Egypt and Switzerland matches. But perception matters in football, and once fans and a federation start questioning the fairness of a tournament's biggest matches, even technically defensible calls become difficult for the losing side to accept. So what happens next? Argentina now turns its full attention to a semi-final showdown with England in Atlanta, a mouth-watering fixture in its own right, with Scaloni's side chasing a place in the final and a shot at history. Given the magnitude of that match, expect FIFA's referee appointment to once again draw intense pre-match scrutiny, especially after the Pinheiro appointment controversy. Egypt, for its part, is still awaiting FIFA's formal response to its complaint over the Letexier officiating crew, and how that plays out could shape refereeing assignments for the rest of the tournament. Meanwhile, expect continued debate among pundits and former players over whether VAR's foul review protocol needs tightening before the next World Cup cycle, a conversation that was already simmering before this tournament and has now boiled over into the mainstream. Here's the big picture. Argentina's run through the knockout stage has been defined by two things: dramatic last-gasp football and a referee controversy attached to nearly every step of the way. Whether that's coincidence, the natural byproduct of high-stakes matches decided by fine margins, or simply the burden of being the team everyone is watching most closely, one thing is certain: every decision involving Argentina between now and the final will be replayed, debated, and picked apart in real time. As they head into a blockbuster semi-final against England, all eyes will be on the officials just as much as the players. If you enjoyed today's football update, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest football news from around the world. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next update.